Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the roadmap session. We're going to spend some time to help and assist people, how to actually plan, how they're going to get there, what it is that's required, what time will it take them to get there. So that's what the roadmap is all about. But before we actually get stuck into the roadmap, it's really important that you watch the video on vision, which is also part of my channel. Because this will just make a lot more sense once you've actually watched that. So yeah, we highly recommend go and watch that before you actually get stuck into the roadmap. And like I said, the roadmap is purely a guide. It's to help and assist people. We using figures. When it's actual figures, we will tell you. But mostly it's like a thumbs up. It's just to illustrate how you put things together and how you actually calculate things. So let's get going and get into it. Where do we get the information from that will actually help you and assist you to construct that roadmap? It comes from your app. So if you look at XPs and you look at number of active products that you have in your channel, etc., that'll come from the screenshot that you now see on your screen. And then, of course, if you're looking at the rank ups and you want to know exactly what it is that you need to do, that will be, if you look at the bottom of the screen, it says channel, events, reward, connect and tools. You will go to rewards and you will swipe your screen once to the left, and that'll open up that what you see there. And then, of course, if you click on the little white arrow within the blue square, that'll expand the block and you can see the requirements. For example, the one that expanded there, rank 5, says you need 64,000 XPs. And you need 200 active paid products within your qualified channel. So you're going to find all the information there once you start putting your roadmap together. So let's just do a brief intro before we get into the nitty-gritty. Like I said, this is purely a guide, and you're going to find that when you start calculating your ratios, don't worry about the word. We're going to explain that exactly what it means. You will find that it's more of an art than a science. Because what's applicable today can change tomorrow because you start working a different market, or you change that your methodology, etc. So that will change as you go along, and therefore it's more of an art than a science. It's going to be different for everybody. We just find that that is the beauty of the business. It actually suits each and every person out there. You just need to find your niche. You need to find the things that really work, that you can gel with, and that's the way that you're going to successfully build your asset. And of course, get to know yourself. Like if you know what your strong points are, and you start to amplify that, you start to use it more, you're going to find that you actually improve your results. Don't try and be somebody else. That's not what this business is all about. It's just be yourself, and be the best that you can be, and then work your plan. That's the important thing. And it's you can go out there and just throw jam against the wall and hope it will stick, or you can go and you plan and you measure your plan and you do it on a constant basis, and you do little adjustments, and you're going to find, oh, all of a sudden I'm getting much better results here, or hang on, I'm going in the wrong direction. And when you've done the adjustment, replan. So okay, now that I've done that, I can now replan and see when I'm going to get earlier there or later there, or whatever the case might be. And then once you've did the replan, you execute it, and you keep on doing that. So once you start executing, you're going to, again, you're going to measure, you're going to adjust, replan, and then execute, and you're going to do that on a continual basis. So your roadmap. Now, when you look at the roadmap, that's just a classic example of a roadmap. You want to travel from Johannesburg to Cape Town, roughly 1,400 kilometers. So your goal, where do I want to be? I want to be in Cape Town. Okay, now we're going to get in how we're going to get to Cape Town. Now you're going to travel, you're going to most probably take the N1, N3, whatever the route you're actually going to take. But you're going to go through places like Kroonstad, Bloemfontein, Colesberg, Beaufort West, Worcester, and eventually get to Cape Town. Now, those are called milestones. So if you leave here and you leave Gauteng and you never go through Kroonstad, you're most probably on the wrong road, and you're going in the wrong direction, etc. So those are milestones where you say, I'm going in the right direction. I can actually measure that I'm on the right route, etc. Now, when you look at your business, that is indicated by ranks. So, for example, I hit rank 1. Okay, now I'm rank 1. Now, where do I need to go next? I need to go rank 2, rank 3, rank 4. And just going back to the first screen that I showed you, go and check those ranks and know exactly what it is that you need to get there. Okay, now your progress will be when you're traveling down to Cape Town, you say, okay, I'm traveling at 30 kilometers an hour. You can now actually take that 30 kilometers an hour and divide 1400 by 30 and find the number of days that you will be on the road before you're going to get to Cape Town. So that's your progress, that's your growth. And exactly the same in the business. You can take, I'm growing by 30 or 40 active products per month. How long is it going to take me to get to rank 9? How long is it going to take me to get to that holiday where I take my family and they spoil me by spending 180,000 Rand in a week on me? So that is your growth, your progress that you're making. And then, of course, on the route, going through Kroonstad and Bloemfontein, Colesberg, you're going to stop off at certain places like Maatjiesfontein, and you're going to go to places of interest, and you gain knowledge while you're traveling down here. You're not like an Android in the car and you just hit the road and do 1400 kilometers. Some people do that. Marsha and myself, we enjoy the journey. But as we gain that knowledge in your business, that'll be indicated by your XPs. That will be indicated by what you've done in your business so far. You get rewarded those XPs, and those XPs combined with the number of active products in your qualified channel will then help you to rank up and to reach the next level. And then, of course, the last one, how we're going to talk about ratios. And ratios is purely, it's a little bit of maths where you need to put together a figure that will help you to determine when and how you're going to get to the other side. Okay, so for example, if I use the 30 kilometers progress, I can use that, and that's part of my ratio. How many kilometers do I need to do? How many kilometers am I doing a day? How many days is it going to take me to arrive on the other side? So I can predict my expected or my estimated time of arrival on the other side. Okay, those are your ratios. Now, with that said, now settle down where we're going to do a little bit of math as we get into it. Now, this is the ratio part, the very first ratio. And this, you cannot start with another ratio and try and work back to this one. This is the first ratio that you need to determine. This is most probably the most important ratio within your business. And that is your recruiting ratio. Now, let's say, for example, your recruiting ratio is the 831. Now, how would you determine your recruiting ratio? By going out and recruiting, by going out and approach those prospects, send them information, those people that requested, and a number of people will sign up. That's the only way that you can determine this. And don't even worry about the rest if you haven't determined your recruiting ratio yet. So what does an 831 mean? It means that you need 8 prospects, of which of those 8 prospects that you approach, saying, listen, I've got something, are you interested? Do you want the information? 3 would come back and say, okay, send me information. And 1 of those people would actually go and connect. They would sign up. So that would give you 8 prospects, 3 information requesters, 1 sign up. That is an 831 recruiting ratio. Now, once you've got that ratio, you can now start doing really weird and wonderful things. For example, let's say you want to connect 5 new wealth engineers. Okay, now how would you then use that ratio? You start on the right-hand side. So as you look at your screen, start on the right-hand side. Your recruiting ratio is what? Your recruiting ratio is 831. So you start with a 1. How many do you want? How many people do you want to connect? 5. So now you need to multiply the 1 by 5. That'll give you 5. I think we all agree on that. Okay, but then you need to move left and you take the 3 and multiply that by 5 as well. And then you need to move left again to the 8 and multiply that by 5 as well. And this is then what it would look like. Your action plan, your target would then be, I need 40 prospects. That's 8 times 5 gives you 40. Out of those 40 prospects, 15 would request information. How did I get the 15? I took the 3 and I multiplied it by 5. That gives me the 15. And then out of that, I would actually generate 5 new connections. Can you see how the ratio then helps you to plan and get along? Now, let's say, for example, you want 10 new signed ups. You start on the left-hand side. You take the 1 times 10, that gives you 10. Then you go to the 3 times 10, that's 30. And you take the 8 times 10, that's 80. So you're going to need 80 prospects, of which 30 would request information and 10 of them would actually sign up. And this is it. Once you've got this ratio, you can plan your whole business as you go ahead. Of course, you're going to refine it. And that's where you need the next ratio. The next ratio would be your duplication ratio. Duplication purely means you've got a person, they registered, they're part of your first point. and now they start to duplicate. They start doing what you're doing by going out there and connecting other people. That's a duplication ratio. Again, let's say, for example, you've got an 8 to 1 duplication ratio, or a 1 to 8. That means that you need 8 connections, and out of those 8 connections, 1 would duplicate. 1 would go out there and do the same thing that you are doing. Now, again, let's use an example and say I need 3 new duplicators on my first point. What do I need to do? Very, very simple. You start, remember what we said, you start on the right-hand side, you take the 1 times 3, that gives you 3. Okay, and then you take the 8 times 3, that gives you 24. So you need 24 new connections, 24 new wealth engineers, of which out of those 24, 3 of them would be duplicators. Now remember, these are just some such figures. Don't pay any attention to the ratios that it is the mathematics that you need to understand. Okay, so now let's string the first 2 ratios together. You know, it's getting a little bit more complicated, but stay with me. So let's say your target is 5 new duplicators. So what do? We take your duplication ratio, start at the right-hand side, moving left, multiply by 5. That means you need 5 new, to get 5 new duplicators, you need 40 new connections. You're all with me on that one? Okay, now how are we going to get the 40 new connections? We go back to our recruiting ratio, and we start from the right-hand side, and we say, okay, now if we need 40, we need to multiply the 1 by 40. Okay, we need to multiply the 3 by 40, and we need to multiply the 8 by 40. That means we need 320 new prospects, of which 120 will request information, of which 40 will actually go and connect. Can you now see? And then we take that 40 back to the top line, and we know out of that 40, 5 of them will be duplicators. And that is how you use the ratios when you start stringing them together. Now, ratio number 3, that's your qualified wealth engineer ratio. Out of every 5 people that are duplicators, one of them, for example, would be every 5 duplicators, one of them would become a qualified wealth engineer. That means that they actually connected 3 people, and those 3 people, of course, then makes them a qualified wealth engineer, and they start earning money. Okay, that will be a 1-5. Now, again, you can start stringing this to the next or the previous one to find out how many of you people will actually be qualified wealth engineers. Ratio number 4 is the rank ups, 3-1. That means out of every 3 qualified wealth engineers, people that have already connected at least 3 people, one of them would be a rank up. That means they would go to rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And then, of course, now we're looking at higher ranks. If you want to determine the number of rank 4s, and you look at working on a 10-1 ratio, that means that you need 10 rank 1s, and out of those rank 1s, you will find 1 rank 4. People that will progress to rank 4. And then the last ratio is just active products. And this is where you're chasing that total number of products to hit the next rank, where you need 2,000 products to go to rank 11. Then you look at the number of products that you have in your channel and how many of those products are qualified. That means that how many of those products have actually been paid at the end of the month. So you might have 100 products. So when you start the beginning of the month and you look at your channel and you've got the predicted income, your predicted results for the end of the month, that is where you would find 100. And then, of course, as your month progresses, some people are added, some people drop off, etc. But when you get to the end of the month and they do the final recon, and you end up on 80 qualified products, then your ratio between the beginning and the end of the month would be 100 products, predicted products in the beginning, of which 80 were paid at the end of the month. So that is the number of paid products in your qualified channel by the end of the month. Okay, so those are the ratios. And like I said, these are purely things that are going to help you. Now, once you have that, there's something, a component of what we're looking at that's extremely important, and that's the BPQ. Again, when you open your app and you click on your name and you open your name, you're going to find the BPQ there. And that is purely the build quality. Now, a BPQ refers to the quality of your first and second point only. It doesn't look at the third, doesn't look at the fourth, doesn't look at the fifth. It only looks at your first and second point. And what it is, it says what percentage of people are actually buying their product at the end of the month. That is what BPQ measures. Not how many people duplicate it, not how many people are rank 1 or whatever. How many people on your first and second point are paying their products on a monthly basis? So let's say 9 out of 10 people pay their product, then you would have a BPQ of 90%. Okay, first and second point. Now, this is the only place where you have any control over quality, is your first and second point. And it starts with you. If you are focused on building quality, then of course that will carry down into your channel, and people will follow your example of looking more at quality. It's not easy. And I'm not saying ignore people. You know, that's the worst thing that you can do. We've already been surprised in this business, but there is something that you can do. If a person says, I do not have data, and I cannot afford data, and I cannot afford the 249, that means do not sign them up. Really, that is my personal opinion. You're doing a lot of window dressing, you're generating a lot of numbers, but at the end of the day, it doesn't translate into success within your channel. Keep that in mind. In the beginning, go out there and just do it. I mean, you need to practice, you need to hone your skills, but as you move along, you need to start focusing on the quality as well. I'm going to share our personal stats with you. I mean, it's not a state secret. We personally connected on our first point since inception 105 wealth engineers. So that's in total. Now, out of those 105, 56 of them are active. That means 56% of them are paying their product or products on a monthly basis. Okay, now the number of duplicators out of the 56, that means people that have already signed up, at least one or more people, is 18. And then out of those 18, there are 15 people that have already achieved rank 1 or better. And then if we take it one step further and we say out of those 15 that have ranked up, there are 3 of them that are ranked 4 and better. Okay, so can you see how certain ratios, etc., start to appear in our business that we use for planning? And our BPQ is sitting at 90%. That means 9 out of 10 people pay their product on our first and second point. So those are stats that you keep your eye on and have a look at it. You know, when your BPQ starts dipping to 60, you know, you're putting a lot of numbers in there, but they're not really turning into business. Then you need to start looking at quality. And like I said, teach that and let it run down to deeper points within your channel. Now, okay, then just talking about quality. Let's take the best rugby team in South Africa, the Blue Bulls, okay? And that's not debatable, it's a fact. And let's say, for example, they want to attract new talent into the team. So what they do is they're going to go and place an advert in the junk mail, and they say, people interested in joining the Bulls club, it's going to cost you 249 Rand if you're interested in playing rugby. Come and join the club, and yeah, that'll open the gates for you so that you can start playing rugby for the Blue Bulls. Okay, now let's take that scenario, and let's say, for example, they get 5,000 applications through junk mail. 50% of those debit orders are unpaid. So the guy was like sitting there and they say, this is a good idea. I'm going to join the Bulls, and he does the application, etc. But when it comes to paying, he goes like, no, gee whiz. I mean, look at those guys. They're big. They're going to bend and shape me. I'm not interested, and they don't pay their debit order. When it comes to the first practice, the guy goes, hey, man, it's my son's birthday tonight. I'm rather go to have a birthday party with my son. I'm not going to practice. So only 30% of the remaining 50% arrive at Loftus to actually go and practice. Now, half of them, they look at the coach, and the coach says, oh, this, that, and the other, and they go like, oh, this guy's a clown. I mean, what does he know? You know, I've watched rugby since I was that big on TV. I know how to play rugby. And they just take their kit and they actually left. The couple that actually remained, after they did the first lap of the pitch, they have 10% of that actually keel over and die because they're that unfit. But out of that, they find one good player. Can you see the ratio that we're looking at there that will start to appear? Now, let's say, for example, a bull goes, okay, this is not really working well. Let's change our strategy. Now, remember what we said, you adjust and you replan and you move forward. So now they go scouting. Where do they go scouting? Where there are schools rugby. They go to clubs, they watch the games, they go to international competitions, etc. Still the same offer to the guys. If you want to come and play for the Bulls, it's going to cost you 249 Rand a month. What do they get from that? Let's have a look at scenario number 2. They only get 100, not 5,000 like they did on junk mail. They get 100 applications. Out of those 100 applications, 100% are paid, because these guys are now being offered an opening, a gap to go and play for the Bulls. And I think a lot of players aspire to do that at the end of the day. So 100% of them pay their 249 and 100% arrive for the practice. Now, when they know they've been given the opportunity of a lifetime, they've been given the opportunity to wealth, they've been given the opportunity to actually go out there and live their passion. Okay, so they give 100%. And out of that 100 applications that they receive, they might find 10 excellent players. Can you see the difference in BPQ between the two, where you work in the first scenario, and you work in the second scenario? Now, that is your dew point business when you start off. You get a bucket, okay, and your job is to fill up that bucket. When you get to the top and it's full, that is rank 28, and you are so wealthy, you do not know what to do with your money, you do not know what to do with your time, but that is what you need to do. You need to fill up the bucket. So but when you start, it's empty. That's where we all start. We all get an empty bucket. It's not because I've got nice blue eyes, I'm going to get like a half full bucket, etc. Everybody starts at zero. You need to pay your monthly. If they don't pay the monthly, guess what? You do not have a bucket. That's as simple as it is. Okay, and you get everything that they promised you contractually regarding the services, regarding the training and everything. That is there and it's guaranteed. Okay, but you need to fill up the bucket. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to come along and say, okay, give me your bucket, I'll go and fill it up for you. You need to do that. Now, what you don't want is a bucket looking like that. And that's where BPQ again comes into it. How much water remains in your bucket is reflected by your BPQ. So if you've got a bucket and you're pouring in, but even before you get there with the next jug to pour in the water, it's already drained out, it's not going to work. Okay, so the ideal is, but you need to keep on filling it up, okay, because some holes might plug as you go along, etc. But your job is you just keep on filling that bucket and then start changing your BPQ. Now, your goal is to add more water in monthly than what's leaking out. Because if you're slower than that, then you're going to reverse gear. Okay, and you need to maintain the quality. If you find I'm at a good quality, don't go and slack on the quality again. Maintain that quality, constant effort. That's the way that you're going to get through to the rewards. Okay, now when you look at the rewards, and like I said right in the beginning, we highly suggest that you first go and watch the vision to the rank 21, which is a video in my channel, before you actually get into this video. We're just going to recap rank 1. What do you need for rank 1? You need 4,000 XP. You need 4 products in your qualified channel, and your reward will be 55 Rand that month, and you'll be earning around about 220. So this is like the opener. You just got stuck into the business and you've taken the first step. Okay, now these are recommendations from our side based on our experience within the business. How can you do rank 4? You can do rank 4 by going out there and connecting 4 new wealth engineers on your first point using 1 product. And we highly recommend that you do it that way. Alternatively, you can go and connect 3 new wealth engineers on your first point, of which one of them is using 2 products. That will also give you the 4 products. Now, why do we recommend that you do 4? For the simple reason, a qualified wealth engineer needs 3 wealth engineers personally connected. Now, let's say one of those 3 do not pay. That means you do not earn any money, because then you are not a qualified wealth engineer and you are not entitled to earn. But if you have 4 and one of them don't pay, there are still 3 that will pay, and those 3 will still maintain you as a qualified wealth engineer, and that means you will still get paid. So we highly recommend that you do the 4 yourself. Of course, if the other people, if one of those 4 went out there and they started doing things, that's fine. That's excellent. Or they took any additional products. But if you want to do it, we highly recommend you do the 4 yourself. Then you get to rank 2. Now look at that. What happened? Your XP is doubled from 4,000 to 8,000. The number of products jumped from 4 to 20. Okay, you will get a reward of 500, which is once off, and you will be earning around about 1,100 Rand. Okay, now what is it that we recommend? That you do the 20 wealth engineers with 1 product yourself. And there's a very good reason why we do this. You see, because if you start your creche, if you start your source of wealth engineers that can develop into giants, the sooner you do it, the sooner you will find the benefit of that. If you go like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, don't expect like boom in your business. But if you go like, I did 4 in the first month, now I go and I do 20, now it's 24. Now you look at a potential boom. Because if those people start duplicating, that is what will create that boom at the end of the day. And then of course, rank 3, now you need 16,000 XPs, 60 active products in your qualified channel. Your bonus will be 1,500, your reward for that month, okay, and your monthly returns will be around about 1,700 Rand a month. Okay, now we highly recommend go and do it yourself. I'm not saying ignore the people that have signed up. You help and assist them, you develop them, you put them through the training, you help them to start recruiting, etc. But your goal is to go out there and do 40 wealth engineers, of which 20 of them have 2 products. Okay, now why are we now looking at people having more than 1 product? You see, for the simple reason, you could do rank 9, where you need 1,000 products 3 different ways. I can go out there and do 1,000 connections. I put 1,000 new wealth engineers on my first point. They use 1 single product, and I will be a rank 9 without them doing anything. This is the only business where we know we have those 2 models that you can work depending on which one suits you. Okay, or alternatively, I can go and do half of I can do 500 new wealth engineers on 2 products each. That will also give me 1,000 products. Alternatively, I can go and do 334 of those new wealth engineers, and they each do 3 products. Can you see how with less effort, more products, you can achieve exactly the same thing at the end of the day? So that's really important. And on the subject of more products, you know, when you look at the products, they are excellent products. Now, we do not sell the products, but what we would highly recommend is you go to all the products, look at the product, and write like a 1 paragraph where you say, why is it, sorry, why is it that I personally should subscribe to this product? You see, people will always take the least resistance. I mean, I can build a business that pays me R1 million a month, and I'm still paying 249. But the question is, well, what would you like to see happen in your channel? If you want to see people with multiple products, then guess what? You go multiple products, they will go multiple products. I've got people in my channel that are using 5, 6, 7 products. Okay, why? And you know, Gerard's a beautiful example of this. First month, started making money. Guess what? Took his second product. Second month, started making more money. Took the third product. And that is how you invest in your own business. You feed your own shark. You don't feed the next person's shark. Okay, now we're not going to go into the rank 4s, etc. But what we are going to show you is the power of repeats. Now, repeats is when you've already determined your ratios, you're working your ratios, etc. And now let's say, for example, you hit rank 20. Okay, now, sorry. Just take a step back. You hit rank 2. So you've done rank 2, which is 8,000 products, 8,000 XPs, 20 products. Now, from there, you now want to move on to the next rank, which is rank 3. Rank 3 is 60 products, 16,000 XPs. Okay, now how would you do that? Now, from 20 products to 60 is 3 times more. Am I right in saying that? 3 times 20 would give you 60. So if you've already reached rank 20, you just need to repeat it 2 more times. So everything that you did to reach rank 20, just do it again and do it again. You're going to sit on 60 products in your channel, and you will have the 16,000 XPs. And again, if you go rank, you've done rank 4. Now you want to go from rank 4, which is 32,000 XPs and 120 products. You want to move from that to rank 5, which is 64,000 XPs and 200 products. What do I need to do? I just need to double up. So if I've done rank 4, I know how to do rank 4. I just go and I do it again, and I hit the next rank, which is rank 5. And you can do that with all the ranks as we actually move along. So when you look at those ranks, rank 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, those are things that as you move along, you're going to plan for the next one, use your ratios, determine when you're going to get there, and you're going to start hitting rank 9. You're going to go on that beautiful holiday. You're going to sit on the beach together, feet in the water, and sip those cold drinks, etc. Now, when you look at our channel, we currently rank 11. We've got 7.5 million XPs that we've accumulated over the last 6 years. We've got 2,226 active products within our channel. and our BPQ is sitting at 91.7%. Now, our next step is rank 12. So when you look at how we're going to get from rank 11 to rank 12, if you look at the XPs, we've already done the XPs. So XPs is not a problem. We need 2,048 XPs. So we've got the XPs. So what we need to do, we need to move from 2,226 products to 3,000 active products in our channel. Okay, so that means we need another 700 products. Now, if you go back to the ranks, I'm just going to page back to the ranks. If we go back to the ranks, and we look at the ranks at rank 8. Rank 8 is 700 products. So what is it that I need to do to actually get to rank 12? I need to do the same activities that I've done to get to the rank 8, the 700 products. I need to do that again. Can you see how we're using the just repeat the process to actually work out the rest of the new one? Okay. So that is your roadmap. Now, like I said right in the beginning, the most important ratio that you need is you first of all need that recruiting ratio. And the only way that you can determine your recruiting ratio is by going out there and doing it. So if you're part of Marsha's training session, what is the training session called? It's called Earn While You Learn. So it's not where you're going to do training for a week and then after a week you're going to start doing it. When you get the first day's instruction, and these instructions are not like a teacher telling you this, that it's a guideline. Okay, this is what you need to do, and you start doing it that very same day. So if the first day say, okay, now we're going to do an approach. We're going to ask people whether we can send them information. You don't wait like 5 weeks before you start doing that. You do it immediately, and do it with people that you know that would not be interested in business. So you're not wasting prospects, but you start honing your skills. You start getting into that mode of how I'm going to do it. Second day, she's going to teach you, okay, now you're going to get people asking for information. So what information do you send to them? You do it. The people that have responded to the people that you approached, they start responding. They say, okay, now what is this all about? Send me info. You start sending them info. Earn while you learn. And guys, the only way that you're going to get good in this business is by doing it. How many times? Over and over and over. Every day, when you open your mouth, that's when you open your door and you start opening your business and you start building. Do it on a daily basis. The day that you do not talk to a new person regarding the business is a wasted day, because absolutely, you can never recover it. It's gone. And guess what? Like 2-3 days later, you go, okay, I'm that guy that I thought about like 4 days ago, I'm going to approach this guy, and he goes like, sorry, I signed up yesterday with another guy. Okay, don't waste that. You go out there, you practice, you hone your skills. Okay, that's when you start building a life that other people can only envy. You know, if you look at rank 21, at rank 21, you're sitting with 4 paid holidays each and every year. You've already added a 250,000, a 1 million, and a 3 million rand car to your garage, fully paid for. No premium on them, nothing. It's fully paid for. You're earning in the hundreds of thousands per month. Guys, that is what the majority of people, it puts you in the top 1% of money earners in South Africa. Okay, and that makes life special, because now you know that all those things that you promised yourself when you started off in life are now going to start happening. Have already started happening, and you're just going to build on top of that. So from our side, we wish you everything of the best, and yeah, hope to see you somewhere and hear your story of success. But from our side, that is it. We're going to be out of here. And yeah, looking forward to meeting you. If you do run into us somewhere along the line, come and share your success story. We would absolutely appreciate that. Keep well.